love, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host, J.Go, health and lifestyle coach and not so regal confidence queen. Coming at you with the real, the raw, and of course, the uncomfortable. My mission is to show you that to be confident, it has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect or having it all together, and everything to do with you getting uncomfortable and pushing your limits. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. Welcome back to Confidently Uncomfortable. Very excited for this episode. I say that every time, y'all, but this is just a very special guest who's near and dear to my heart. We are all about self-love, learning about your love language this month, and I decided to bring on one of the most loving people I know, my sister-in-law and really good friend, Acacia. So Acacia is a pursuing lifestyle blogger, influencer, spreading love and kindness to literally every single person she knows, whether she meets you in 5 minutes and she's helping you in some way, or she's known you for 50 years. Like, she's absolutely just one of the most loving people I know. So I thought, why not bring her on to share some amazing, just takeaways, because y'all know her from when I shared in my retreat episode about her sweet daughter, Violet, who was in the hospital and had to have heart surgery. We'll kind of get in and give you updates on her because I have had a lot of people asking. But also she was the brains of the operation when it came to hosting the Go retreat. So she is someone who will take your dreams and support you through them and go over and beyond for like how she can help you. So I'm just really excited to have you on the podcast. So, hey, Acacia, how are you doing?
Thank you so much, J.Go. I'm so excited to be here. Nervous and excited and just really look up to you. I love listening to your podcast, and
You're so
I'm
sweet.
just, it's true though. This is really special to me. I was honored that you asked me.
No, it's such a good fit. And y'all, this episode, we're going to be hitting on all the different love languages. So if you don't know what they are, I'll give you a little breakdown. And then Acacia will do kind of an intro about what her love language is. And I'll be asking her some questions because we both are very different when it comes to how we show and receive love. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that's okay. You're allowed to give and receive love differently, but it is so amazing to be able to learn other people's love languages as well. So if you don't know about love languages, Gary Chapman came up with the 5 love languages. It's words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, physical touch, and acts of service. Mm-hmm. So those are the 5. And I created a quiz all about discovering your self-love language. And I actually, when I took it, mine is still physical touch, which can seem a little bit weird for being self-love. So I'll talk through that. And then Acacia, what was yours for your self-love language? I had her take the quiz before this.
It was acts of service.
And was that surprising for you, or were you expecting that?
That was very surprising, actually.
So for your love language with the Gary Chapman, what was your normal love language with your partner?
My normal love language is quality time. And I feel like most people would know that about me. I'm so clingy. You can't get rid of me. I want to be around you all the time. Jordan knows this. Anytime she's in town, I'm like, can you be with me? and then when she's leaving, I'm like, never leave me.
Literally every time, never leave me.
Literally every time.
But I love it. You warmed me, so it's fine.
Yes, I'm so clingy. So quality time is a huge thing for me, and I have to have it. So I was very shocked when I got acts of service.
And so that's something that I did want to hit on with like your self-love language. I think it's really important to recognize like how we show ourselves love. We might not realize that we need to show ourselves love in a different way than we even want to receive it from other people. So for acts of service, for that one, it's really about, a lot of times people think that you can only do it for other people. You are constantly doing acts of service for other people. And a lot of times we're doing the things that we might even need without even realizing it. Like the type of love we're constantly giving to other people is what we want, which you give a lot of quality time to people as well. So that I would definitely put those in your top 2 for sure. But then taking actions in your life that would support your highest self. So I'm going to use you as an example for this. So haha, she didn't know this was coming. So when it comes to acts of service, taking actions that'll help your highest self, doing something to take away the day-to-day chaos. The journal question that I have people ask is, if you were to walk into your house at the end of your day, like what would just light you up to see? Would it be like having your prep dinner, someone there to discuss your day, a clean house, folded laundry? Like what is something that just like lights you up?
That's so tough. I feel like all of the above, but I think if I had to choose something, probably, because I will say this, before I had a child, my answer would be different. And I would probably
Mm,
say, I want the whole house clean.
mm-hmm.
But now I've let so many things go that I didn't let go before, like a clean house or a dinner's not ready, because there's just, you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants with a
Yeah.
newborn. And I think now all I want is just someone to talk to. Definitely just someone to have just
Yeah.
hang time,
Absolutely.
conversation,
I think it'd be
deep
really
thoughts.
powerful. And it's something that you're actually talking about. If y'all follow her, which I'll have her stuff in the notes, she's been doing a Friend
Right.
Friday. So tell me a little bit
Yes.
more about examples of Friend Friday, because I love the
Mhm.
concept. I think it's really, really powerful because a
Yeah,
lot of
my
people
friend
are wanting that
Friday.
connection.
Absolutely. And you need it. Everyone
Mhm.
needs connection. I actually wanted to do it years ago and not even share it. I just personally for my own self. It wasn't ever going to be anything that I shared. And then after my daughter got out of the hospital and things kind of settled down a little bit, well, they never really did, but I wanted to just start sharing who I was reaching out to or planned on connecting with every week. And I actually ended up sharing it only because I wanted to hold myself accountable. Because I was like, it's so easy to get caught up in life. A few examples that I've done, or our spouse is a recent one that I just did this last Friday. But before then, it was someone you miss,
Mm.
someone that is undeserving, and you feel like they don't deserve the connection. They don't
Mm.
deserve you reaching out. Maybe there was a falling out there, and I've mentioned grandparents and so many other ones, but those are just a few examples of just who I'm reaching out to and why I think other people should do the same.
Yeah, I love it. And it was very inspiring because you were super intentional about it. You know, you wanted to make these connections with people. And I think it's something where we're in a time and age where like everyone's looking for more followers and more like more and like more is better when really like you focus on reflecting on those current relationships and fostering them. And I think it's something that more people should definitely do, and it's something that you challenged me to do in a new way, because I don't even write thank you letters, y'all. I didn't write them for my wedding. Me and Acacia are so different, but like it's what makes our relationship so beautiful. So that's why I brought her on here, because even our self-love languages are different. So I love that you have that. So y'all, if you want to challenge yourself to that, you can actually start it from the beginning. So go look at all her Friend Fridays on her Instagram and you can start to challenge yourself to do the same every Friday. Highly recommend it. And the other thing when it comes to our differences, and something that I wanted you to highlight because I think you just have such an amazing gift for, is gift giving. I think you are so good at that and you have such a passion for it. And y'all know she listens to my podcast, so Acacia already knows I have such an affinity for gifts and the holidays. And I was straight up Grinch this past Christmas and just not in a good headspace when it came to gift giving, and just feeling stressed and like comparing myself and feeling really overwhelmed about it. And I think that it's important to understand that you can take a different perspective. You can take some of the pressure off. And sometimes when you feel this pressure, it's mostly you putting it on yourself. So I want to hear a little bit more about the perspective from someone who does have that, is great at that. It's Valentine's Day when this episode is going and to be aired. And personally, I don't really care about Valentine's Day because my husband's birthday is the 17th. So like all I'm focused on is his birthday, which is a couple days later. Acacia, what's your favorite holiday?
Valentine's Day, number one. And I honestly love it more than my birthday.
Which is, for me, it's so far and distant. And so I love this because I want her to like light a fire under me and get me so excited for it, because she does it every year. So I'm going to have her share a little bit about like your passion for just in general. Let's start with gifts and then we'll get more to Valentine's Day. So just where did that come from, your passion for just creating gifts and helping people learn more about gift giving and all of that? Because you've been sharing more of that on your Instagram as well.
I always look at it as it's a mindset. Giving is a mindset, whether you're giving a physical gift or giving, an emotional gift or a gift of service. It's a mindset. And I think if you are looking at gift giving as an opportunity, then that's the best way to look at it. And that's where you'll flourish and you'll kind of find what you're looking for when you're trying to give to someone, an opportunity to meet a need for someone. an opportunity just to love on somebody. You don't have to have a reason. It doesn't have to be a holiday, or it doesn't have to be this cool new gadget that's on all of the gift guides. It can be anything, but just loving on that person. So that's how I think about it. And that's how I try to talk to other people about it too. It's an opportunity. If everyone thought of it that way, then it wouldn't be as hard.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people have that kind of roadblock.
Yeah, I love what you said, Acacia, about like there's a reason behind both reasons. Like we both had, there's a reason why I felt such an I just struggled with gift giving because of how I was raised. Like growing up, it was just like, product of divorced parents. So gifts were just always really weird. And even when like in the beginning as kids, it was like a weird comparison thing. And then it shifted towards gifts weren't really a thing. And then, money wasn't really a thing. And you know how that is on your end too. So it was just always really, really tough for me. And so it got me caught up in this mindset, like from childhood. But I think it's all about your perspective, because I feel like you had that perspective and then you shifted it going forward into your adulthood, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It does. It depends on people's upbringings, and maybe people, didn't struggle like we did growing up and they still hate gift giving. There could be many reasons behind that,
Yeah.
But I feel I've been there before. When I was growing up, I didn't have a lot of money to give, but I wanted to give. And I was on the receiving end of giving a lot. People helped us out a lot. I was raised by a single mom, so we had a lot of help growing up. And even, now going through hard times, people come out of the woodworks and help you and give you things. And I don't know, I've always wanted to be a giver and give more than I was able to. So I just love it so much now. And I do it as much as I can and to my best ability.
I just think it's so important. Like, I love your perspective. And I think it's beautiful that you took that and you essentially now that you're coming from a place where you do have the ability to give gifts and you do have more means to do so, like you've learned, what it's like to like have been on the receiving end. I think it's just a beautiful thing. And honestly, like you remind me so much of, this sounds weird, but like my Nana who, she just passed away. Like she was so hospitable and like, so just like loving and selfless and wanting to give. And you're very much in the same way. And I think it's just a beautiful thing, because you said it perfectly. It doesn't have to be a physical gift. It's really just being more intentional with those relationships. Because if you're only focused on the fact that you have to give a gift, that's all you're going to be thinking about when you're purchasing the gift. And I think the actual mindset that goes into whatever it is that you do is such a factor in how that is received as well. So I think that's really important. So I'd love to hear kind of the fun stuff. Let's get into Valentine's Day. So
absolutely.
So it's your favorite, like, why is it your favorite? And then I want to hear like some of your favorite like stories, like as a kid, like maybe if there's some Valentine's Day stories or like,
I do.
anything embarrassing about my brother-in-law, you can share too. Like, this is a safe space. Like, please bash him on the internet. That'd be great. Just kidding. Love him.
No, honestly, I've always, as far as I can remember, honestly, as a child being in elementary school, I don't know, and maybe I'm dating myself, but back in the day when we had Valentine's Day, we made little bags, like paper bags, like
on your chair.
Paper. Yes. And you got to decorate your bag or, whatever you wanted to put on it. And then when it was Valentine's Day or whatever your Valentine's Day party was for the class, you had to go around to everyone's bag and put the Valentines in everyone's bag. And honestly, and maybe it was because of my upbringing, which I had a very loving mom, but, she worked a lot. And I think just getting that bag full of just love, honestly, that's what it was. Just treats, love notes, special notes from kids. I just feel like that just filled me up so much and would carry me on for days. I would sit there and come home and look at all my notes and read them and look at all my little Valentine's Day cards and eat all my candy. And that's where it honestly started for me. And I just so clearly, vividly remember going to people's like mailboxes or cubbies or the paper bags, dropping every little Valentine card in there. And I had a ball, like just writing all the little notes. And like to your best friends or to your crushes, like you might write a heart on your crush's card.
Oh yeah, that's when my first crushes came out, was Valentine's Day.
So let me tell you, when I was in elementary school, there was this kid, I won't name his name, but there was this kid, he gave me a ring
Stop. It
He
wasn't your
did
husband?
ring. No, it wasn't my husband. He was the first person that proposed to me. And I mean, it was like,
You heard it
I don't know,
first.
this probably was like first or second grade, but I remember it so vividly. And it was like, a little play ring or little, like, probably one you get out of the
The
candy
coin
machine.
machine.
So that is actually one of my most memorable
I love that.
things as a child. But I will say, just getting that bag, the bag of the cards,
Yeah.
it is, and honestly, it's just kindness. And when you're a kid and when you're in elementary school, everyone gets a card. There is no select few
Popular.
or giving only these people a card, or maybe you would write a heart on your person's card, but that doesn't mean you're not giving everyone in the class a card. And who knows, I mean, maybe Valentine's cards were a kid that was in a terrible home situation. Maybe that was the highlight of their week. You just don't know. And I think I carry that into adulthood all the time, and that's why I think I love Valentine's Day. Everyone jokes with me when they thinks it's so silly that that's my favorite holiday, but to me, it is a love holiday. And I may be getting off topic for you, Jordan, but
No, you're good. I'll pull you in. This is good. Tell me why so I can become you.
It's a love day. And whether people think it's made up or not, it's the second biggest holiday in the US for card sending besides Christmas. And that's just amazing. You're sending greetings, you're sending love, you're sending messages to whoever it is you're mailing the cards to. But I think it's a great way to show your thoughts, or even if it's just to a coworker, just show kindness to other people, whether it's a spouse or not. Like I said, it could be to anybody, but I think that's how people should think about Valentine's Day, whether they think it's made up or not, or the candy invented it, the candy companies invented it. I don't think that.
That's
I know a lot of people think that, but I think if you thought about it as just spreading love, everyone says that, well, you should show your love and affection every day. You should show kindness every day. And that's true. But can you honestly say you do that every day? Do you take the extra minute to write a nice note when you're leaving out the door to your spouse? Do you grab a cup of coffee for your coworker at the office if you're getting one for yourself? I don't
Acacia
know
does, by the way. It's all how you frame it. And it's always going to be like that. Like, you can get to any holiday and you can be like, I hate birthdays. I hate this. And it's like, okay, like, you can choose to, because maybe you had a shitty birthday, or maybe you really did struggle with Christmas holidays, but also you still have a choice of like how you create this, what you make of it. And so why not have fun with it? So I will tell you, Tom and I have been together for 15 years. So when I turn 30 this year, I will have been with him as long as I've been without him, which is mind blowing. But that's a lot of Valentine's days.
That's so crazy.
So it is crazy. So I want to know, like, what are some of your favorite Valentine's Day gifts let's start with like your partner, like your special someone that you've done, some things that you've done, because, cards are great, but words of affirmation, that's my thing. Tom's is not. It's acts of service is a big one for him. I don't want you to think specifically for Tom. I just want you to share some gifts that you really have enjoyed receiving or giving to people for Valentine's Day.
So this is funny because actually, as much as I love Valentine's Day, Jimmy and I don't give gifts for Valentine's Day. And we
wait, what?
I know you're like, everyone's like, drop the mic, what happened? But no, we don't. And it's funny, our favorite thing to do on Valentine's Day is order our favorite Chinese takeout and just be together. And he will normally I love balloons, actually. I will let them hang out into my house until they fall to the ground. Like, I love them so much, I don't want to get rid of them. So he will normally get me balloons, or chocolate covered strawberries, another huge thing that I love to receive.
Love those.
I love them. And my parents always send me a box too. And so sweet of them. This year we're doing something different for Valentine's Day, but we normally keep it very simple for our own Valentine's Day. And that's not because we don't like giving and receiving gifts. And I definitely have ideas for other people besides just like a card or anything like that. But I do think if you're the type of person that is struggling with finding a gift, then just make it a fun experience. Don't even focus on the gift. Make it an experience, make it fun, and make it feel the love that you're supposed to feel on that day, that you're supposed to spread to other people on that day. Feel it inside yourself first, which I know J.Go talks a lot about and just did her last podcast on that. But I think that's how we celebrate it, honestly, is a quiet night in, and we always have.
I think it's great that you're saying that it's your favorite holiday, but it's not even about the gifts for you. I think that's really cool.
It's definitely about the love and kindness. This year, though, we are donating to the Pediatric Cardiac Center at our local children's hospital. So I decided, instead of spending money on balloons or getting the amazing chocolate covered strawberries, we're just saving that money and putting it towards our donation to that unit. We are donating mobiles to all the cribs for the babies and some other little kindness kits for them in that unit. So we are doing something different this year. And I think that's a great idea if people want to give back locally in that way.
That.
And that could be something fun to do with your spouse, not take the pressure off of you as a couple and do something charitable. I think that would be a really fun tradition to start. Yeah. But I know you were asking about other gifts ideas for spouses. But yeah, I just want to tell you what we do.
I love it.
But yeah, I mean, another idea besides the charitable giving one, which I think is great if people are struggling. But if you want to do something a little more elevated than a card for Valentine's Day, when it's all about love and expressing love, I truly feel experiences are the way to go. I have so many ideas. I would say a cooking class is really fun, and it doesn't even have to be at a venue. There's a lot of bakeries, if you kind of Google where you're at, and depending on your location, they do virtual classes, and you can come pick up a kit and they'll virtually do it, especially now with COVID. That's a thing. I know our local bakery is doing something like that. I think that's a really fun night in, and you get tasty treats out of it.
A win-win.
And
you don't have to go out.
Exactly. And if you are wanting to do something different, element of surprise will always win.
I like that.
Element surprise. Jimmy has surprised me in the past, like showed up, got up early in the morning, went to my office, decorated my office with like simple things, nothing crazy. But that, that's not even enough wrapped up a gift in a bow, but that is just the most fun thing to come to work to. And if you guys are working from home and not in the office, you can get creative on how to do this, their car. Or, decorate the kitchen when they walk out to get their coffee or anything like that. I think that's a fun way. But if you have the leg up to be able to surprise someone, that almost always trumps anything, because the surprise element, you weren't expecting it.
It's good. I mean, it's Valentine's Day, so sometimes there is a little pressure or not as easy to surprise, but I like the idea of waking up early. You wouldn't expect that to happen. You wouldn't have expected something in the morning. So I love that idea. Yeah. I think these ideas are great, Acacia. So I have talked about the love languages, and I want to kind of come back and come back to that again, because I'm hosting this 5-day love challenge called #Go Love Yourself. I stole that from Justin Bieber, but Go Love Yourself. And it's all about first pouring into yourself. So every day you're going to have a self-love challenge. So something based on one of the 5 languages, but then also you're going to have a couples challenge just based on one of the 5 love languages. Fun. So I went from, not celebrating Valentine's Day to now I'm going to be celebrating it for 5 days next week, during this week, actually. So,
that's the dream.
I know it's literally Acacia's dream. So I'm basically turning it into you. So it's great, but it's going to be really great. So basically starting with, like, for example, Valentine's Day, this one's coming out. The first day is words of affirmation. So we are going to do like a self-love. I'm going to have you write a Valentine's card to yourself. And so just a love letter, just expressing love for yourself. I think that's really important, because I struggled to receive love for a really long time because I just didn't feel worthy of it. I didn't really believe it. I mean, I've been with Tom, like I said, for 15 years, but I am so much more able to receive the love that he gives me than when we first met, because I just doubted it. I was just like, nah, this isn't really real. I thought it was going to be like a summer fling when we first met, because I just didn't think I was even worthy of that level of love and acceptance. And so I had to find that in myself. And so that's why I'm so passionate about learning your self-love language and pouring into yourself, because if you're constantly just trying to do things for others, you are going to pour from an empty cup. You're going to really struggle to receive that yourself.
Absolutely.
empty at the end of the day. So words of affirmation is going to be the first day. And then the couples challenge will be writing, a card to themselves, getting creative with it in some way. But I'm very excited about that. But I think it's cool because it'll be, I like can't think of things on my own. So I'm going to be doing this challenge too. So that basically each day you have a different focus. Like quality time is going to be one of the days. So Acacia's going to love that day. As far as quality time for yourself, but then also carving out some quality time for you and your partner. So definitely go sign up for that if y'all haven't yet. I know Acacia's already signed up for it. I'm signed up for it. It's going to be really fun.
That's super exciting. I love that you're doing that, Jordan. That's just like perfect. And I think sometimes people need a prompt. They need the guidance.
For sure.
So I love that you're doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing it more for accountability. I'm doing it so you all will learn, but then also I will hold myself accountable for doing that because I think it's a really good challenge. Like you said, I'm shifting my mindset this year. I'm going into it. Life is short and I'm recognizing that, and I can choose to just be mad at things or feel like things should be a certain way or whatever. I can choose to embrace them and make it my own. And that's what I think you've really talked about today is like, make it your own. It doesn't have to be a gift. It doesn't have to be a card, but really being intentional about what do you want this other person to feel? Like how can you help them? Right. What is something you can do for them? And I love that about you because I think you have such a gift of recognizing a need in someone else and being able to help fulfill them and make them feel loved and seen. So I just wanted to say thank you and I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what we're here to talk about today is just how can you either show someone kindness, show someone love, whether you know them or not. I think that's just what's going to make the world go round and fulfill you. And I think that's what life is all about. And
absolutely.
I'm so glad you asked me to be on here and you're talking a little more in depth to everyone about it today. Cause I think that's my hardest struggle is to recommend any gifts to just a blanket audience because I am so intentional with I have to know who I'm giving towards. Or if you just say something like, okay, for your coworkers, what do you want to do? And I think that's easier to kind of give a blanket suggestion. But like you said, it can be something so small. It can be, one of my favorite things to give is lottery tickets. It does. I know a lot of people do that for Christmas.
Yeah.
But for Valentine's Day, it could be really fun. You can put it in a card. You can, sit it in someone's chair at work or put it on someone's car, and it's just like the funnest thing to give because they can win big. We don't know.
And they would split it with you. So it's really a win-win.
Yeah. That is the stipulation when you give that. No.
Obviously. I assume
with our work does monthly regional meetings. And I've done that before where I've just picked up a bunch of scratch offs and, passed them around and just said, so lucky to have you on our team or thankful to have you for like Thanksgiving or whatever. And it's just the most fun. People get a kick out of it. It's the simplest joy you could give. And like I said, nobody's expecting it. So
love it.
That's a fun thing.
Surprise. I think that's so cool. One of the other things that I'll kind of leave this with is that's really helped me. You talked about having direction and kind of having a prompt. Really understanding the love language of your other person was huge for me. So learning that within yourself, like how can you give yourself love in a way that's going to be the most receptive to you? Because if words of affirmation isn't as big for you, then reading affirmations every single day might not hit you the same as if you spent some quality time with yourself, And same goes with your partner. Huge. So Tom and I don't know if you know Jimmy's, but like Tom is physical touch and acts of service, and mine is words of affirmation and physical touch. So he'll be doing so many things for me, but it has to be registered that like you're saying these things, like you're doing them, and that's great, but it's not registering the same way, and vice versa for him. I'm telling him I love him all the time because that's, my love language. So it's usually we're giving what we want to receive. And with him, I'm recognizing there's so much more value. Like he gets choked up if I'm thinking about doing these things and start doing them for him when I just think of it as like, well, I was just going to get groceries. I didn't really think about it. So by doing that, it's really shifted to being more of like, it really does feel like an act of service, an act of love, something that's so genuine for that person versus just doing it because you have to check a box off the list and get a gift for someone, right?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. And your relation, if you're talking in a sense of relationship or partner, or even friendship, it's going to be so much stronger And you will feel so much connected to that person if you do understand what their love language is or what's going to make them receive that love, like you said, because Jimmy's was his is actually words of affirmation, which was the hardest love language for me to give. Because I can do everything else in the book. I can gift give, I can do acts of service. Quality time is my jam. That's what I want to be doing. But and physical touch, yeah, I'm there too because I'm so clingy. But I struggled with words of affirmation because I had a heart for years. I couldn't actually voice my own feelings. And it took years of counseling to even be able to articulate what I was feeling, because a lot of times I would just shut down.
Yep.
Or if I was sad, I made sure everyone knew it, or I made other people sad. And that wasn't me at all. But I think if you're in a relationship, you have to know nothing is going to be as fruitful if you guys aren't both receiving and filling up each other's cups. And I think if you're both doing each other's love language, then you will be able to give them their love language. So like if Jimmy isn't giving me quality time, how can I fill him up with words of affirmation if I'm not feeling loved? So it's a two-way street, but you have to be driving down the street at the same time.
Yep.
You both have to be pouring into it,
Yep. And communicating that, I think, has been a game changer for me. Figuring out with yourself, therapy is a big fan of therapy, to figure that out with yourself, but then also communicating that is going to be key. So y'all, if you can just exactly what Acacia said, showing people love, showing people kindness today, making it about more than just a candy holiday that Hallmark created. Just kidding.
There actually is huge history. I had it prepared for today. There's huge history behind this day. Saint Valentine was a real person, but I do think it's evolved into so much. But what I like to focus on is, yes, like you said, spread that kindness, spread that love, because we all need more of it. We all need more of it. We
really do in the world. So y'all spread some love today. Spread this podcast today. Share it. If you have not signed up for the challenge, today's the day to do it because it starts on Valentine's Day, which is when this episode's airing. So go ahead and take the quiz and discover your self-love language. Do it with your partner. So many of my clients are, and those of you that have signed up have told me that you actually asked your partner to do this with you. And they said, yes, they were like, yeah, if you want to do it, I'll do it. And even though they're not big on like challenges or even social media, they're still doing this with you. And I just think that's so cool. So you'll never know if you don't ask and you don't communicate your needs with people. So just do it and share love to others and you'll receive that love tenfold. All right, we're making time for this. We are doing rapid fire questions, Acacia. You are a planner. I know you wanted all these questions beforehand, but I refuse to share them with you just so that you can think really quick ahead. So we're going to go through them. There's only 5. You are stressing. I can already tell. I'm very excited. Are you ready?
I'm not ready, but let's do it.
Okay, first one is favorite word.
Love.
Oh, how perfect. All right, tacos or pizza?
Very difficult.
Ooh.
Tacos. Go for it.
Awesome. Love it. From where? Where would you get it from? We got a lot of local people.
Homemade. All
right. Oh yeah. Acacia's guac is amazing. And so are her tacos. They're great. Favorite dessert?
Is it even possible to choose? I don't know. Because anyone that knows me, I am a sweet tooth. I like kill myself with sugar. So I honestly don't know if I could choose, but if I had to, like probably brownies would be really up there.
Love it. Let's do brownies. Favorite sound or noise?
This is interesting. I would probably say my daughter's laugh.
I was going to say Violet's laugh. Oh my gosh. It's literally the cutest laugh.
So, oh my gosh, it makes me melt and I just want to like bottle it up and listen to it all day.
It's the best laugh. Yeah. You'll have to share that on your stories more because it makes me so happy. As you know, this podcast is called Confidently Uncomfortable. So it's all about getting out of your comfort zone in order to grow. I want you to tell me what is one thing this year that you're working toward that is uncomfortable, but it's a goal that you have for yourself in the future.
Starting my blog and putting more out there on my Instagram. Yes, it's super uncomfortable for me. And I know Jordan preaches to me all the time to just start doing it more. And I plan to this year. I wanted to last year, but that didn't happen. And this year is my year to do it. And really just because I want to share love with everyone, just want to share the kindness, spread the love, spread the joy. Because like you said, life is fast. And that's just, if that's all I can give to the world, then I want to do it.
Love it. Y'all heard it first. So. You were going to get a blog from Miss Acacia Robinson. So be ready for it. Get excited.
Now I have to do it.
Exactly. That's why I was forcing you to say it today. So thank you so much. You've been just such a light for supporting like everything in Body Confident Blueprint, the Go Retreat, dreams, just like you really, really love people. And I just wanted you to be on here to help other people see that and see ways to love others. So I just appreciate the light that you shared today. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you so much, Jordan. Love you.
Love you too. Thanks again for listening to Confidently Uncomfortable. I love being able to connect with you here and honestly don't want it to end. So head over to my Facebook group, Body Confident Blueprint, and be sure to follow me on Insta at J.Go Fit Life. Also, if you're ready to get real confidently uncomfortable, go leave this podcast a 5-star review and email me the review screenshot, support@jgofit360.com, for a chance to win a free 30-minute fitness audit and goal setting session. I appreciate your support. See you next time.